Welcome back to Planet Watch. Today we discuss Leo, my birth sign.
Yeah.
Mary Jane. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, all you Leos out there and everybody around.
The older I get, I'm more and more surrounded by Leos socially. As a kid, we're heavy on Leos in the family, but or in at least my dad's side of the family. My dad and my
Uh-huh.
sister, of course, are both Leos too. But socially, I really hadn't known many Leos, but now it seems like I can't shake a stick without hitting a fellow
Yeah, fellow
Leo.
Leo. You don't want to do that too often.
Well, no, you don't want to do that too often. Yeah. So, we're recording this, what is it, July 19th? Oh, it's my friend's birthday, so I'll have to send her a text.
Right.
But July 19th, and it is hot.
It is hot and it's going to get hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah, here and I'm sitting in Geneva and we're already looking at 90 and 95-degree weather, which is rather unusual, actually. The summers are rarely that hot, but it's been like this all over Europe. We get this breeze, this lovely breeze, but it's coming right off the African desert. And it just doesn't help cool things off at all.
Oh my Lord. Yeah. And you guys don't have the infrastructure for this. I guess it's getting better with people getting AC, but people just don't really have air conditioning.
Well, no, not really. Typically, that's because Europeans generally live outside when it's nice weather like this. They go outside, but when it's this hot, it's hard to do that. But in any case, that's why they haven't gotten around to air condition their homes, their apartments, even whatever.
Oh my goodness, that's miserable. Miserable.
So if
Well, it's not.
that's why fans are so so popular here, and fans, they're very flirtatious also, and they serve a purpose.
Absolutely. Uh, well, it sounds like things are starting to heat up astrologically too.
Well, yes, this is always interesting as the sun moves into Leo. Now, why is that? Well, first of all, the sun is very much at home in Leo. This is the sun's
Right.
hometown. And so it's extremely active there. Now, this brings on all the wonderful sides of Leo, that is to say, athletic competitions, competitions of all kinds. We're out having fun and games, doing all kinds of lovely Leo things, and usually with this notion of fair play, getting along, sharing, and so on, that can be the good side of Leo. The tough side of Leo is shows up in its fixed sign capacity. This means as the sun goes into fixed signs, that is to say, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, things just get tight. They don't move. We're in really entrenched positions, and the sun is in this entrenched position. Think of a barbecue heat. You've fired up the coals and you get this solid heat that's going to last for hours. That's what these fixed signs feel like, this constant energy. It's very equilibrated. It's wonderful to use if you can use it for cooking things on the barbecue. But as far as social relations go, it's rather difficult, especially this particular trip of the sun through Leo. Remember our old friends Saturn and Uranus that have been in this square going on for, well, the last year anyway, huh?
Right.
Well, now Leo is coming in to make this T square, to finish off the square position. So we've got this whole battleground. Really, it's like two armies, and we're going to see this on all sorts of levels. First of all, the war in Ukraine and other incursions going on around the world are going to be in this very fixed
Hmm.
position.
Uh-huh.
So no one, we're leaving. The other side is the fact that the sun is leaving whatever grounds were open for consensus in its position opposite Pluto, but also in good position to Neptune. And this was helping a little bit anyway in finding that middle ground, in finding uh, some some sort of consensus. But now the sun is leaving Cancer. It's going into Leo, and is just underlining this incredible fixed attitude on the part of all insurgents, of all arguing parties. Now, this is going to be true in certainly in the war that's going on. This is going to be true in legal proceedings that each one of us has going. Divorce proceedings look perfectly hideous right now. Just everybody's hot. Everybody's just in a bad temper, and this is exactly what this feels like all month long, basically.
Wow. Now, I have heard that from numerous sources that when the temperatures go up, crime goes up as well.
Sure,
Passions flare, patience
sure.
goes down, and
Yes.
that has to be working against things as well, I would imagine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Road rage, this is, we're
Right.
going to see, and I want you all to just be really careful for reasons I'll point out in a minute. Out there driving, out there traveling in general, we're going to see all kinds of slowdowns. We're going to see all kinds of strikes, possibly, but very subject to delays, to accidents. It's just you have to take all your patience in hand when you're out in any kind of travel situation.
Right, right. Well, not a bad idea to just be careful anyway.
Anyway, but as tempers flare, as passions run high, you're going to be subject to bar fights. You're going to find yourself in uh, in the middle of other people's arguments, and whether you want to or not, but just because the tempers are out there, and we'll just tend to kind of get in the middle of them as it
Well, it
happens.
seems that tempers have been high for a long time anyway, so
Yeah, yes, true
oh,
enough. And
man.
yeah, especially with this sun opposite opposite Pluto, it's my way or the highway, and a lot of people are taking this attitude and will keep these attitudes, as I say, in this frozen atmosphere where things just aren't moving. There's no room for consensus. There's no room for even debate that's honorable and honest.
Wow, wow.
So
Now,
this is, yeah,
as an American, you're of course an American expat. The January 6 hearings are coming to mind. So,
indeed.
how do you feel this energy might affect the proceedings?
Well, I've been very glad to see them going on, at least in this period of Cancer. First of all, it's America's birthday, and so this is not unimportant in deciding the destiny of this country.
Right.
Um, I would like to see things winding up this week as we're into the end of Cancer, because as I said, as we go on into Leo, the positions become entrenched, and it will be harder, much harder, to get anything really seriously decided and moved off the desks into some kind of forward action. This is what's going to be true in all sorts of legal proceedings, in fact.
Right, right. So probably a really bad time to enter into a business partnership,
For
to
sure,
out of a
for
business
sure.
partnership.
It's a very difficult, especially in existing partnerships. The all kinds of arrangements are coming under fire as people take on new positions. Let's talk a little bit about the chronology of these movements, because there are some openings that I'd like for people to be able to use uh, this month of coming from the 22nd of July on starts out kind of rough, I must say, because Mercury is already in a non-negotiating position and is getting very, very nervous with this square Saturn Uranus. On top of that, and what's complicating things as far as the war going on, and as far as any kind of
Yeah.
even out dealing, is the fact that Mars is coming over this same Uranus. Now, the Mars Uranus conjunction is extremely explosive, extremely explosive. This is going to be the showcase for new weapons, for new for new approaches of the army. We're going to see uh, some new attacks, some new fields, some new fields of energy in this war and in little wars as well. So Mars out there, and this is why I come back to the necessity of being very careful physically in your sports, in your cars, on your bikes, whatever you're doing out there. Be conscious of the incredible martial energy that's involved in accident situations.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Absolutely. Just a good
It's not a
idea.
wonderful time. Let me just say it's not a wonderful time to be redoing the electrical system in your houses either.
Oh,
You want to be very careful with fireworks, very careful with all sorts of electrical outlets and products. This is part of it. And
okay.
there are some high times in here that we'll talk about. So
Okay.
things start out kind of interestingly. The 31st of July already is kind of a nice time when the sun is still in a nice aspect with Jupiter.
Mhm.
Now, this is an excellent time to be talking about contracts, to be talking about negotiations, to be talking about pay rises, uh, promotions, and so on. The sun, Jupiter looks big. It's a wonderful time to be involved in sports competitions as well. This is going to be excellent for any competitive sports, but it kind of takes a turn south, and it's hard at the same time uh, with Mercury that's making some very nasty aspects with Saturn and with Jupiter. That means that the head is not in conjunction with the heart. On the heart level and on an emotional level, everybody's getting along fine. But then the head starts up, and we get involved in all the little legal niggling
Mm.
and a lack of communication that just goes way south. It's very difficult to make proper arguments and in a decent tone of voice with Mercury opposite Saturn.
Mhm. Right. Right.
That's a great time just to be
Meeting.
calm and think over what you're wanting to say before you say it.
Right.
And and be sure you're listening, you're hearing what is being said and not what you necessarily want to hear said.
Right. 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 And of course, Mercury being the messenger, the communicator.
Exactly. Mercury is in charge of our thought processes, but also our communicative skills or lack thereof. And so is very much in charge of proper exchange, proper, decent, harmonious, nice, nice, even exchanges, proper debate.
Right.
Good luck with that. We're going to see this again under the full moon on the 11th, which looks a little rugged too as full moons go. This is a time when the sun, among other things, and the moon are going to be exactly square to Uranus. And so Uranus, which is static at that point, it's not moving for our eyes. It's not moving. It's the sun that's coming up against this explosive force. And so we're going to see a full moon that's a little bit nerve wracking, I'd say, on the 11th, 10th and 11th of August.
August. Oh boy.
Yeah, I wanted about coming back to this Mars. I'll give you just a few dates to keep to circle in your chart in your agendas. This the proper conjunction Mars Uranus is from the 27th already of July, clear up through the 7th of August. This is this extremely explosive, extremely excitable period, and the sun will be going square then through that period. The these two planets are going to be opposite the moon on the 5th. So this whole first week of August is a little bit nervous, a little bit too hot to handle. Just everybody, cool out with your Kool-Aid and and don't sweat the small stuff.
Okay, good to know.
Yes, there's enough big stuff going around that we shouldn't worry
Right.
about little details getting along with people. We've got to just do our best. The nice trip through there, especially around the 2nd of August, before we get involved in all this, around the 2nd of August, Venus is showing up to help out considerably. And she's saying in the middle of these arguments, she's making a lovely aspect to this same Mars Uranus, and she's saying, try to look for new avenues of action. There are other ways to do what you want to get done together, especially. There are other avenues of investigation that you want to get involved in. And she certainly, this is going to be important in monetary details, any exchanges of money or buying and selling. But it's, buying and selling is interesting because there are new ways to get in touch with your clients. There are new clients to look for your house or your car, whatever you're buying or selling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very nice period. Again, a nice parenthesis, a nice window around the 1st, 2nd of August.
Okay, good.
Yeah, at least that.
Right.
As time goes on, we're going to see again this full moon on the 11th that is very, very active, I think, and will require a great deal of patience on part of everyone. The worst day I see for delays in travel, so on and so accidents, possibly strikes, is the 14th of August, 13th, 14th.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Strikes I'm not looking for so much, although in Europe they're very popular at this
Mm-hmm.
season. But on those same days, Mars is in a very nice aspect to this nice connection, Neptune, Pluto. So we'll call everyone back to looking for an ideal situation, looking for an ideal way to act that's going to be honest, honorable, and even somewhat humanitarian. But that's again kind of a nice parenthesis in the middle of a lot of traffic, a lot of traffic.
Mm-hmm. Right, right, right.
Those are some of the important things that the sun is doing. Now, I want to go back and look at a little bit for Venus because she's got some nice, interesting things coming on too. She's finishing up her career in this year's career in Cancer these days
Mm-hmm.
and will be in conjunction with the moon and the black moon, Lilith, in Cancer on the 24th, 25th of July. And there's a square to Jupiter. I'm thinking this is where a lot of people are going to start looking at the couples they're living in and seeing that maybe things aren't just the way they want them to be. And there will be a huge push into conciliation, uh, uh, perhaps divorce proceedings, separation proceedings, things of that nature. It's not an excellent period either for adoption proceedings. As much as Venus moon, black moon will have everything to do with adoption in Cancer, the square to Jupiter just makes this extremely difficult to realize. We're in better shape a little later on between the 7th and the 10th of August when we're going to see a period of resolution of desires. Again, new ways of action. We're going to see some windows opening up in toward what we want to get accomplished legally and morally as well, just emotionally as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rather nice period for that, for making amends, for getting things back on an even keel with the people who surround us, the important people who surround us. Also, it's an interesting time to be looking at that pay rise and maybe improving your position professionally. So these things can be done, but a little toward the middle of the month then.
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah, what else can we look forward to?
Well, those are some of the high points for me. as I said, this Mars situation is very complex. First of all, on the 1st of August, and then in its square to Saturn on the 7th and 8th of August, and then Mars takes a turn again, as I said, to be a little more gentle, a little more understanding, a little better acting, I want to say, a little more polite. The 10th and 12th, and also the 13th to the 15th, from 10th, 15th of August, we'll say, when he's going to be making some very nice aspects to Neptune, to Pluto. We'll be looking more at moral aspects of the questions we're asking instead of just purely the power uh, aspects of things we're wanting to get done.
Hmm.
So that can be helpful, at least through this month that looks sort of tumultuous. It's just going to call for a lot of patience, a lot of calm. Don't believe everything you hear, first of all. You probably shouldn't even believe everything you say. And at least if you can get kind of upstream of that, be careful in what you're wanting to say. Be careful in the arguments you're presenting.
Sure.
And that will keep us all out of a lot of trouble, I think, as a rule.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. So just buckle up, Buttercup. S- keep an even keel. Mind your
Right.
words, mind your
Have
manners.
fun, but be fair to everybody.
Right.
Mm,
Sage words, of course. Now, of course, there are so many avenues that we can have in our life. Adoption, you mentioned, divorce, marriage, starting a business, ending a business. So many different avenues, legal proceedings that impact us. It's impossible to cover everything in a global report like this,
exactly,
especially
exactly.
as things apply to individuals. So, again,
Always,
it's
always,
so helpful to look at a natal chart. It's so
for
helpful to look
sure.
at a solar return.
Precisely, and see how we can make some sense out of all of this energy that sometimes looks extremely hostile, but with a little practice and a little juggling, usually we can use these difficult times to our advantage, if only knowing when to sit back and wait for the dust to fall, wait for the dust to settle. Maybe there's a better time to attack what you want to get done in court, in your job, or whatever, with your neighbors, whatever. Maybe there's a better time, and so we can look at all these things, and it's very useful. And we could also look at the relationships in which you're bound at present. The qualities of relationships want study sometimes, and well, that's my bailiwick. And I'll be glad to help you look at these questions, all of you out there, if you haven't yet had a look at your natal chart and other things going on around it.
Yep, absolutely great advice. And there's a link in the show notes to make an appointment to do just that. So
Great.
thank you so much, Mary Jane. We'll talk again in Virgo.
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Power to the Virgos.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Meanwhile, you Leos out there, have a great birthday too.
Well, thank you so much. And everybody stay cool.
Stay cool. Stay calm.
Hmm.